JB Morrow, go and get your bag.
Welcome, everybody. I'm excited for today's show. Y'all have like no clue. I'm telling you right now, y'all gotta forgive me, but I'm still getting used to our new name. So we are now considered or called the Unique Perception Podcast by way of the Any and Everything Podcast, which is our brothers. It is our Sunday, and we have a guest, and I am excited about that. But before we get into the guest, let's go ahead and do our normal. What did we do this week? How has life been? So you go ahead, and I'm gonna shoot it to Amber. Amber, you started off first.
All right. Well, for anybody out there who does not know, I'm Amber. I am the little sister of Marcus, who is in the Any and Everything podcast side. This week has been very, very long. Every day felt like it was a day or so behind. So that was a little bit challenging, but despite that, it was pretty chill. Got some things done. It was a little productive at work. So yeah, life's been so far so good. Really can't complain. For the beginning of the new year, learned a lot about myself and my goals and all that good stuff.
Mel, would you like to go next?
Yeah, and my week was something crazy. I was supposed to be preparing for surgery this week, but that got all messed up, which I'm glad about, so I can be a little bit more comfortable today on the broadcast. I don't have to worry about being in pain. Other than that, just prepping for that and, and to be off work for a little bit. But other than that, I'm feeling all right, feeling okay, get ready to welcome our guests in a moment. What's up with you, Lauren?
Just work, but this week was interesting. I actually flew to New Jersey to spend time with my cousin. I mentioned that we had a death in the family a couple of months ago, so I wanted to spend some quality time with her. She's much older than me, so listen, you know how life goes, and so I wanted to fly up and spend time with her. So I got us free tickets to be on the Tamara Hall show. So we went to New York and we sat in the studio audience to be on the Tamara Hall show. And she's done things like this before because she's retired. So she just be out doing stuff. This is my first time. So I was like a kid in the candy shop. I had the time of my life. So that was like the highlight of my week. But now let's get into it. So today we have a special guest. This is a friend of mine from back home in New Jersey. His name is Dwayne Reid, also known as the Credit Man. He is the one to help you get in there. He ain't gonna take no shit from you. He ain't gonna give you no shit. He's gonna give you the real about your credit, and he's gonna do everything possible within his reach to make sure that he gets you to where you need to be credit wise, so that you can live, not necessarily, a financially free life, but a stress financial free life. In that sense. So let's go ahead and welcome my friend and now y'all friend, Mr. Dwayne Credit Man Reid.
Hello. Thanks for having me, ladies.
What's going on?
I'm good. I'm good.
How are you? How I see you are not at home right now. You told me you was somewhere else.
No, I'm in Atlanta for a friend of mine's birthday.
Oh,
he
nice.
wanted to come for his birthday, so We
Okay.
did.
Nice. Were you behaving yourself, right?
Of course, always
Of
been.
course, because listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. My man is a dad, y'all. Like he
Yeah,
got kids and sits on top of businesses and be doing it. Like, I mean, definitely somebody I can personally say that is inspires me to want to get to where I need to be, so that I can have some of the financial freedom that a lot of his clients have.
I
So
appreciate.
so real quick, just kind of like give us really like a quick synopsis of like what it is you do with your business, because we definitely want to promote you out there. Mel and both Mel and Amber are from Detroit. Amber
Mhm.
lives in Georgia now, and
Mhm.
Mel still is out there in Detroit. So we want to try to get you global. We want to get you out there to all of our viewers.
Nice, nice. Appreciate you. Well, pretty much what I do. Well, my name is Dwayne the Credit Man Reid. Pretty much what I do is I help people to get in a position to buy houses, buy cars, start businesses, whatever they want to do. We try to help people get, try to teach people the financial part of it, right? Because a lot of times we weren't taught about credit in school, so a lot of us learned it the hard way by getting it, messing it up, and then having to start over again, right? So pretty much what we're trying to do is we're trying to stop people from messing it up in the first place. So I'm big on education, showing people how credit really works. So that's pretty much just our goal, to get as many people in position as possible, and also, teach them about the business world, business credit, how they can use that to help, get grow their businesses. Because that's another thing that we don't really jump into, because a lot of times we don't even realize that a lot of these big banks, a lot of these big companies, they run their businesses based off credit, right? And a lot of us, we realized that once the shutdown happened, when COVID started. Like, you had all these billion-dollar companies within a week or two laying off hundreds of thousands of people. That's because they all ran their businesses off credit lines, right? So when you hear people saying, "Oh, I run my business off cash," that's actually a backwards way to run it, because most businesses run their business off credit, because you don't want to be taking all your cash and putting it into your business, then got to get it back. You want to have a credit line that can actually do it for you. So this is what we're trying to teach people, how to do that on the business side. We try to teach people how to, just get their credit right, keep it right on a personal side, so they can have access to all those things that a lot of times we don't have access to. I believe they said 55% of Black people can't buy a house because they don't have the credit score to buy a house, which is crazy that over half of us can't even have that opportunity. You don't have an opportunity for loans. You don't have an opportunity to buy the car you want. A lot of us got to go to the dealership and pretty much get, pick the car that they give us, right? So we're just trying to change that narrative and try to educate people on, how they can better utilize their credit to have a better life, because it literally, that little 3-digit number can literally change your life if you use it right.
Right, right. That's what's up. That's what's up. And just to put this out there, he does have a book. It is called Understanding Credit. It is available on Amazon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the link onto our Facebook page so that you can go ahead and get started. Start with the book. If you can't start with him just yet because of other financial reasons, you can afford a book on Amazon. Listen, Amazon accepts Afterpay, Chrono
Mhm.
Pay, listen, Zezzle Pay. So it's no reason why you shouldn't be able to go up here and get the book. Plus, taxes are being accepted right now. So you'll be able to get that book in a couple of weeks. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah,
And then get with him. He's willing to work with you. You know what I'm saying? He's told me that plenty of times. I just haven't jumped on the bandwagon yet, and I need to. But he's willing to work with you. So just wanted to put that out there. And now I want to jump into this topic, because I said if anybody is going to give us a good male perspective of this topic, it's my man, Dwayne. So we are talking about rating mates qualities, potential mates qualities, like the
Mhm.
things that we look for. What's most important on your list, rating it from 1 to 10, I think it is. So
Mhm.
we have some clips, or we have images of what I saw circulating around on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, and I thought that it would be a good topic to discuss. um, I'm gonna say, Mel, did you have those pictures to throw up there real quick, or should I just read the list out?
I do. Yes, I do. Which one you want to start with?
So let's start with the one for men. Let's see what they rate, how they rate us, because we are outnumbering him right now. So let's get his point of view for to
I'm
see.
used to
I know. So, because I'm just very
Men
curious,
or women? What
Hmm?
men say about women?
Like
What
with
men
how,
say about
yeah,
women?
yeah, what they rate. So I sent you two of them. Right? No,
There it
the other
is.
one, the black one.
The
So
black one. Okay.
there we go.
Leave
So
me in
now,
first.
these are the 9 options that men have to say what is the most important, starting from the top to the bottom. So, Dwayne, just go ahead and kind of give us, how you would pick these things in order, and then kind of give us a little bit of understanding as to why.
All right, it's so funny because I had a similar post on my page, and it was completely, women were like blown away by the fact that most men didn't care about their career, but I think the career is going to be last on the list. And let me just explain that a little bit. The reason why it's not that we don't value your education, it's just that your education is for you. Women tend not to go get an education so they can take care of a man they want to be taken care of. So your career really doesn't have anything to do with me. That doesn't help unless we're on the same page where we're building something together. But
Mhm.
when I first meet you, your career is not something that I'm looking for, like, because I don't even know if you're willing to even share what you're gonna make. How much money you makes doesn't that's low on the list as well. So I would put that at the bottom. Your education level, that's important, but that's still somewhere at the bottom. Looks and shape. mm, I mean, I like pretty women with shape, so I would put that kind of high on the list. I don't know if it'd be number one though. I think number five would be number one. Home skills, homemaking skills. That's definitely number one on the list. Number four would be probably number two. Um, Number six probably be number no, actually number six would be number two. Number four would be number three. Um, Number seven. Oh, number seven. Wow, these are pretty good. Um, yeah, number seven is gonna be over number four.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, number eight is probably gonna be up there, and number nine is definitely gonna be up there. But nine is gonna be. I think number nine is gonna be after number seven.
Mhm.
I would put her career at the bottom, how much she makes at the bottom, education level at the bottom, and then the rest is like all that stuff, right? Because that's what's important to men. That stuff there.
Mhm.
All that, 'cause you can come to us with no money, and if you have all that, you valuable. You know what I mean? Versus someone that doesn't have all that and has money, it doesn't like translate. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. And when I put the post up, that's how majority of them. And you may have one or two men that cared about how much a woman made, but majority of them didn't care about how much a woman made or her career or her education level. If you're a good woman, you're just a good woman.
Mm. You know,
So
I find that kind of hard to believe, and I'm not saying from your standpoint, but just you saying most men,
mhm.
because I mean, it's just weird because men have always been lookers. So it to me, number four has always been top priority. They're not looking over number four to look at the girl who has the positive personality. They don't typically look past number four to learn about her personality
Mhm.
or to learn about her willingness to please, sexually. They are sexualizing her from how she looks. And if she
Yeah.
doesn't look pleasable,
Mhm.
then they don't want to have anything to deal with her. And I just said that to them like prime example. I saw somebody that I once upon a time, years ago, had a crush on. He said, "Oh, she's cool, but she ain't my type. She a little too fat and she ain't cute enough." But
Wow.
these days, he got heart problems. He done lost two toes, and now all of a sudden I'm fine as hell. So I'm just like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so it's
Like,
like to me, it's like, do you think that age plays a difference in like how they pick them from a certainly like let's just say early 30s to now let's say mid to late 40s? Do you think that plays a part in it?
yeah, definitely. Because one thing when you're young, you don't realize that number four is going to go away after a while, and then the rest of the stuff is what shines, especially in the long term. Like I've been with my wife we've been together for 24 years, and we've been married for 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that number four, like she's still beautiful, she still has her shape and everything, but I know that over time that stuff is going to go away. But the other stuff never really go away. Like if she has a positive mindset, if if she makes you feel good, that's always going to be there.
Right.
So if I was younger, I probably would have put looks and shape at number one because I was young. I didn't know no better. But as you get older and you get more mature, you start to realize what's actually important in a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like looks and shape is cool. That's what gets you, the attention. But what keeps the attention is the rest of the stuff. Because
Right.
again, you could be pretty, you could have looks and shape and have all the money, but if you're a terrible person, you're just a terrible person.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not gonna be able to keep a man, no matter how, big your rump might be. Is if you're
Right.
if you're negative, if you can't take care of a man, if you can't take care of a house, you're just gonna get what you get, and they're gonna move on.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reality.
Right.
So now, just because I'm sorry, I have some questions just
No,
because.
go ahead, excellent.
So I get that how much she makes is just that's the bottom. We ain't even really too much worried about that. Unless it's like, y'all are starting a business like you said or creating businesses together.
Mhm,
But as far as the education level goes, like, you said you kind of put that one a little bit down a little bit,
mhm.
like a little further down. Why is that? Like is her education not mean as much?
Um, this might be a theory of mine. My wife has a bachelor's. She has an MBA. She has a bachelor's degree. She's big on education. But
Mhm.
when I met her, she was in high school. When I meet women that are very highly educated, they tend to be they tend to seem disconnected, and they
Mm.
just seem like they think they were above, like, oh, for instance, right? And I hope this don't rub y'all the wrong way, but I believe in feminism, but I'm not a fan of extreme feminism, right? So a lot of women feel like their position in society is like beneath them, right? So they think like being a caretaker to the kids, being a man's helpmate, having home skills. They think all that stuff is not valued anymore to them, when that's what men value. That's the most important part of society, because women literally you guys literally birth people, and you guys dictate the direction that society goes in. And I think feminism tricked a lot of women outside their position to make them think that them being a woman is not valuable and need to step into a man's role. We got enough men. We don't need more. We don't need more. We need women to be more women. And you can pursue your education. You can do whatever you want, whatever makes you feel good. But at the end of the day, those things are what men are going to look for.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mel and Amber,
Hmm.
anything?
That sound good. That sound good, but that ain't what's going on. All of it sounds nice, sounds
Mhm.
beautiful, and I wish that's the way the world works. But like you
Right.
said, you've been with your wife 24 years and married 14.
Mhm.
These last 10 years or so of dating out here, men want to know what you making. Men
Mm.
want to know, are you doing something?
Mhm.
Because they looking at women like, okay, you're expecting me to bring something to the table. What are you bringing to the table? We got a lot of 50-50 men out here now.
Mhm.
We got a lot of men out here that wouldn't have a problem being a stay-at-home dad or a house
Mhm.
husband. Like a lot of them don't have a problem, and they're not. Some of them may be bums, as we say. Some of them might not be bums. Some of them are just willing to let the woman lead, which I don't agree with,
Mhm.
but whatever. But a lot of them are willing to give full reign to a woman to lead the household. And a lot of them are not getting with women if they cannot bring at least half of what they are bringing. They
Mm.
want to go 50-50 nowadays. So in the last 10 years, I know you two have been out. Me and Amber still out here in this dating game. But you two have been out for a while. And times have definitely changed.
Respectfully, yes. We
I'm
both
almost
have
40.
some.
So I said I've been dating for maybe 20 years now, I'll say. And it has changed completely. Everything,
Mm.
like I said, everything you said sounds beautiful, sounds nice. That's not reality right now. It's just
Yeah.
not.
And
Yeah.
what's crazy is I hear that same complaint from women all the time, and you got to understand that. I think for every action there's a reaction, right? So as more women stepped into men's roles and more women want to get the education and more women want to make more money, it's only natural that you're going to have some men that's going to step into that feminine side of things, right? Because you have more women coming into
Mhm.
the male side of things. So you can't go out, you can't run around and say that you're a woman and you're a boss, but then when a man asks you what you bring to the table, you get upset. It's either you're going to be, either going to play the women's position or the men position. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times women that and this is the problem. This is the problem I have with women that are highly educated, because again, they think that their position is beneath them, and they don't really come with that position no more. They want to be the man in a relationship, but then they want a man to like. So I'm gonna ask you guys a question, right? Name one time in history where you had two people that had the same power that actually worked out.
It doesn't.
I think I've
It
ever.
doesn't, right? So one person
It
have to have the
doesn't.
lead, and one person have to be second. And I think a lot of women have a problem with being second, but they don't want the man to be second. So it got to be some type of like. At what point do you realize, okay, I'm gonna jump on his program and I'm gonna help him with his program, or he's gonna jump on my program and he's gonna help me with my program. Somebody has to be number one and somebody got to be number two. You can't have number ones. You can't be equal in a relationship. There's no such thing as equal in a relationship. Somebody has to take the lead and somebody's gonna play second. So generally the woman might run the household, she runs the bill, she runs how the money moves around, but the man ultimately at the end of the day he makes the final decisions on bigger decisions as far as how money gets spent, what school the kids go to, all that. Like the final decision usually comes down to the man. Or if you're the woman and you want to have those final decisions, then you got to understand that that's the position that you chose. So you can't have it both ways. It's like a woman saying, "Oh, I want a man to lead me," but then when he come lead you, you tell me, "Oh, I don't want no man to lead me. I want you to just be standing next to me. That's never going to work. That doesn't work anywhere.
I guess my
I don't think it's so
input
much
on
that
it.
women.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
I'll
Amber.
No, go ahead. I ain't hear Amber talk. Go ahead.
wait. So okay. So
Take it
as I
easy.
was looking,
Take it easy, Amber. She's like she ready to go.
no, I
Like,
swear.
no.
I just had to because I'm taking
Get 'em,
everything.
Amber.
No. I'm taking everything in because first off, I don't know if this matters. There's a lot of factors. I'm in a somewhat different age bracket. I'm just turned 31 in December. So like my dating experiences may or may not be a little different. For one, I'm single, but I'm not really out there like that right now. But it's kind of funny that you mentioned that, you know, the higher educated women seem to be disconnected. Now I will say, now I'm educated, but like, you know, I'm not like, I don't have like a master's or PhD yet. I'm trying to get to that direction, but I do have my bachelor's, and I am disconnected, but not for the same reasons. I feel like I'm disconnected because I'm more so focused on myself right now. So like, because I'm trying to build something for myself. So it's like, I don't know if that's, if like, I don't know. I guess when I didn't think of it in certain ways, like I have dated guys while I had boyfriends while I was in school, and I never really cared like whether or not they had a degree or not. Like, I guess my biggest concern in that situation is if they didn't have one, if they were still trying to find themselves or figure stuff out. And it's funny, it was funny then. Now I look back and like, I probably shouldn't have thought of it that way. But I was like, well, are you okay with making more money than you? and as long as they was okay with that, because some men aren't, I was like, okay, well, that might be the possibility depending on where my career takes me. So, you know, that was kind of where my thought process was. But also looking at the list, I will say that it does differ too, like in cultures and backgrounds and how people were raised. Because I did know somebody who literally felt like, and I'm not gonna say what their culture was just to avoid possibly offending anybody, because it was different, but she really felt this way in her soul. She felt like men didn't respect her because she wasn't educated. And in her upbringing, she was told that, well, if you had a degree, you wouldn't be getting treated like this. And that's just how she was raised to think.
She
So no, I don't want to say, because I feel like I don't know, because I don't want to. I don't know. It
Yeah,
might rub
I heard that a lot on that side. I heard that over there.
Me too.
A real
Yeah. But she carried that with her to the point where she almost felt like if a woman was educated, I could almost see her kind of shut down or look at them kind of like in a, not out of jealousy, I don't want to go that far, but it was kind of like, like, oh, so you don't have my problems because you're educated. And it's like, what? Like, so, you know, but yeah, I'm just, it's like I have a lot of opinions that's boiling up here right now. It's just, I guess I'm trying to take everything in first because I'm looking at all the factors that goes into it. But I know for me personally, when it comes down to education and me being considered educated, I just never looked at it that way. Like I just was more so, like you said, I kind of agree with you. Like it's just for me. Like I have stuff I want to do that requires an education. So yeah, that's just kind of how I looked at it. But I do see some women who go into relationships with that idea that I feel like, and it might not just be particularly to certain cultures. It might be some women who do really feel that they might get more respected if they come in a relationship with an educated background. And that might be true to some extent. I feel like it could be, because you might have a different level of respect for somebody who accomplished something like that, you know.
And you know it's crazy because I was actually born in Jamaica, so it could be that as well. Because my family, all the men in my family on both my wife's side, these dudes are all alpha males and they want to take care of everything. And I know y'all see a bunch of memes about like Jamaican dads, how hard they go on everything, and you know they go off for the littlest stuff. And I was raised with a guy like that. And my father, I had my stepfather and my father. They were both really, really like, these dudes are like super alpha men. Like, yo, you take care of everything. She shouldn't have to worry about nothing. You know, learn how to fix this. When I was younger, My father literally used to take me everywhere with him. My to fix things, to move things. I used to hate it. I remember one time we were moving a dresser. I think I was like 12. He had me. We had this big dresser. We was carrying upstairs. I lost control of it and started running down the stairs. The dresser was chasing me. Yo, I was so upset. But as I got older and I like started doing my own thing, everything he taught me, like every
Right.
single thing he taught me, came in the I used it. And I know I see a lot of guys that can't even change tires. Like I literally be driving down the highway, you see like a man sitting in the car waiting for the tow truck to come change the tire. And if me and my wife are out, if she out anywhere, like she doesn't touch the car. She doesn't know nothing about cars. She'll call me and tell me what it's doing and then get taken care of. Like
Yeah.
she don't tell you not like if you ask her, do you know how to change a tire? She's gonna tell you no.
That was
She doesn't have to do none of that stuff.
that was
She only been to my the barbershop with my son one time. Like she doesn't even
that
know his barber. Because I
that's me.
take care of that stuff. And I just feel like as a man, that's your role. And I know especially today, like I guess that's considered misogynistic now to feel like you're a man and you're responsible for certain roles. And I know a lot of people are.
Considered that,
Huh?
but
Hmm?
I said it's considered that, but
Yeah, I don't really
I
care
like
though.
a man taking control.
Yeah, I don't really care. I don't want my woman opening the hood of a car. That looks ridiculous to me. She shouldn't
And
be
yeah,
telling me.
it does.
I mean, it's
It does.
cute. It's cute if she know
But
how to do it.
oddly enough, I'm one of those women that knows how to change the tire, that
Mhm.
knows how to at least check my oil.
Yeah,
If I needed to change my oil, I would know how to do it.
you good.
I think my dad thought I was his third son, but
Yeah, but he probably did it. He
taught me
did
how
it.
to
He did
do
a good
that
thing
type
for
of
you.
stuff
Yeah, he
because
did a
it's
good.
like you just never know where you're going to be in life.
Yeah.
And you need to know what you need to know at every aspect of your life. So he did teach me how to change a tire. He did teach me where everything was up under my hood and how to change my windshield wipers and add washer fluid or whatever the case to my car. He's a car guy. So, worked at Ford for 35 years. So he taught me something. But and on the
Right.
flip side, as far as the dating goes and the man supposed to be the leader, because I'm a firm believer in a man's role in the relationship being the head. Well, no, I won't say relationship, in a marriage being the
Yeah.
head of the household. I'm a firm believer in it. But in dating, a lot of men, like I said, want to do the 50-50 thing, want you to
Mhm.
bring something to the table. And if you're not bringing it to the table, they don't want to fool with you. So now you
Yeah.
have women that feel like I got to have something in order to
Mhm.
date certain men. So I'm going to go out here and get my education. I'm going to go out here and start making six figures or more. I'm going to go out here and provide for myself. So now that brings on an unintentional, sometimes intentional, but mostly unintentional masculinity that we didn't ask for. We were
Mhm.
forced into that role because if don't nobody else take care of us, who gonna take care of us?
I agree.
We got to take care of ourselves. So now having that little bit of masculinity to you and independence to you is not acceptable in a relationship anymore. So you can't win for losing. They don't want you if you ain't bringing them to the table, and if you bring too much, then now you too masculine and you too independent, and you're not attractive anymore.
You know what it is. I think a lot of women don't know how to play the game, right? Like you see how you say you know how to change your own oil, you know how to change your own windshield wipers, all that stuff. All you have to do is act like you don't.
Right.
That's all you got to
Hello.
do. Act like you
I do.
don't. So if you know you
I
need an oil
definitely
change,
do.
you tell your dude like, "Yo, my car need an oil change. Can you take care of that for me?" Let him feel like he's important. You know what I'm saying? But don't tell him, "Hey, I can
I ain't
change my
taking
oil. I
that
changed
for
my
you. I ain't your husband.
And that's
tire."
I'm gonna
kind
tell you
of
like
That's
this.
how that
Say
Listen,
goes.
that to me. They don't deserve you. Then that's
I'm gonna
crazy.
tell you like this. Call me Mom's Maybelline from 1950s if you want to, but I have spent all of my 20s and early 30s being the man.
Mhm.
While I was in a
Mhm.
relationship and being the man. And I was, listen, got my degree. I was this, I was that, and it ain't work. It ain't work. Me and this man had so many problems. Some was, of course, on him, but a lot fell on me as well, being for real, because I was too strong. But that was because I was raised by my grandmother, and my grandfather was gone, passed on, and it was, you got to know how to do this, make this, that, do that. So it was like repetition from a child. So when I got into this relationship, he had no role. He had no role.
Mhm.
I did not have to say half of the stuff I said. That was a lesson learned that I didn't have to say that I even knew how to do all this stuff. I could have just did it while he wasn't around. And then when he was around, been like, oh, could you do that? You know, I'm not really sure. And it's okay. But see, a lot of women take that as I'm not going, sit back and to make him feel superior or to have him feeling like the man. Then I learned that the hard way. It's absolutely nothing wrong with playing that role. It's okay to play that role because you playing it. That's all, and I'm 40 years old now. I am happily the woman in this marriage. I don't touch the garbage. For what? I got a son that's about to be 16.
For what?
Listen, I left the case of water in the car today. And my husband was asleep because he worked last night. He got up, and the first thing he said to me, "Why you ain't tell Cash to go outside and get that?" He ain't put his clothes on to go outside and do that. He went right to that bedroom door. He said, "Hey man, put your stuff on and go outside, get that case of water out the trunk of the car for your mother." Like, and I could have been a woman, old school, and said, "Oh no, I could leave the boy alone." No, it's called doing this.
See?
And letting him be the man and saying, you got a son as big as we are. That boy almost bigger than us.
Yeah.
Let him go do that. And then where's my husband? Back in the room, relaxing himself because he got to go to work tonight. So, you live and you learn. That's what I'm learning. And I think that list, like he said, has changed for the age because once upon a time, it would have been education, would have been top of my list for a man because I was education. So he had to match me. Now I've gotten older and it's not education. It's looks. I don't care what nobody say. Call me shallow. Looks started off for me. If I'm not attracted to you, I don't want to get to know you. Period. And then we go into the other things. A man's attitude follows second for me. His attitude, his disposition, that follows second for me. Because if you got a nasty attitude, as fine as you just was, you are no more. Because your attitude is disgusting. And I don't mean by having an attitude. See, men have to understand that having an attitude means flaunting. I don't want no man flaunting. If you know what you got and you know what you're doing out here, you ain't got to show me. That's not how you gonna win me over by flaunting it. And that's not attractive at all. That's a piss poor attitude. That's just telling me that you ain't have shit when you was younger. Now you got a little something and you don't know how to act. You know what I'm saying? So I get, like I said, I know it has to change per age. Like right now, right now, so as I get off of this with y'all, I gotta cook. I'm gonna cook. It's okay, and I'm gonna cook. I'm tired and I don't feel like cook, but I'm gonna cook because he gotta go work tonight and he need lunch.
See, that's a good one.
And it's okay. You know what I'm saying? I'll fuss about it in the middle of I'm sick and tired of kicking for your ass. And I will do all of that. But he's still gonna have his lunch today, so that he ain't got to go and buy nothing to eat. You see what I'm saying? So but I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, this is the women's list now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, go ahead.
I'm gonna let y'all go.
I was just saying that I was looking at some of the comments that Ramon had left as well. And he left another one. So the first one or the second one, technically, you have to understand. Oh yeah, let's start with that one. I think it's okay for a woman to do those things, but if I'm in the presence, I would do the work. But if I'm not around, there is nothing wrong with her fixing it or knowing how to fix it. So that's kind of like I was looking at that as you guys were speaking, and there isn't nothing wrong with knowing how to do those things. And I should be able to tell my partner that I know how to do those things, but that doesn't mean that I have to do those things if you're in my presence. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it is kind of like, like something as simple as taking the garbage out. Obviously I could take the garbage out, but if I have you with me, then I shouldn't have to do that. So it's like, my dad was a mechanic and I actually wanted to be a mechanic myself. That was a long time ago. And so if things would have panned out that way, I probably wouldn't have been fixing cars.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been my job. But if I have a man with me, then if the car breaks down on the side of the road, I'm gonna just look at him like, like I'm not about to get out the car, but obviously that situation would have been different if I was a mechanic, because certain things at that point. But I agree with Ramon's statement that like it should be that way. Like, I could do these things, if you're not around, but if you're there, then by all means, like, it says a lot about your character if you're like, well, clearly you know how to change a tire, so why can't you do it? then I'm gonna look at him a little different. Like I'm
Yeah,
like,
that
all
is,
right,
With you.
to me, it doesn't matter what you could do. It's just certain things you shouldn't be doing.
right.
But
I'm not
my
saying
question to
no
Amber
out-
is, why would you say something?
I mean, like I mean, if he, what I mean when I say something, that's gonna be something he knows I know how to do at some point. Like I wouldn't just break out with it, like, hey, by the way, I can change a tire. Like, you know, like I'm just pretty sure the way, like how I communicate with people in my relationships, eventually they're gonna know if I knew how to do these things. But it, to me, it says a lot about somebody if I tell you this and you say, oh, well, then you do it. I kind of want to know if that's how you feel. Cause like, you know what I mean? Like, I guess that's how I feel about it. Like, yeah, like I would like to know if that's how you're gonna come out. Like, oh, well, you told me you know how to change a tire, so why don't you change it? Yeah, I might be like,
But see,
right,
that goes,
well,
and now you teetering on the lines of testing a man.
but no, but like now this is the thing. Let me back up. I'm not saying I will put that out there. I'm just saying me being how I am and how I communicate, they're probably going to know that I know how to do these things. There wouldn't be like a particular reason I'm putting it out there. But if that's his response, then I might be like, okay. But you know, but like I wouldn't keep it from him, I guess is what I'm saying. I wouldn't think to intentionally keep this information from them. Like I don't know. That's just not how I was thinking. But if I did go into, and first off, let me just put out there, I do not know how to change a tire. But I was just hypothetical. So yeah, let me just make that. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a small woman too. So like a lot of guys assume I can't do a lot of things. So, but little do they know, you know, if I'm by myself and I got a whole bunch of brothers too. So like when they was around, you know, they were like, oh, don't worry about it, I'll do it. But then sometimes I'm like, I got it. I can do it myself. Like, you know, but yeah. So, you know, it does sometimes change. Like, you know, a lot of guys assume certain things about me or whatever. Like I dated one guy one time and he was laughing at the fact that, fun fact, I don't know what it is. I wouldn't say I'm a pyromaniac or anything, but I like fires. I like fireplaces. I like making bonfires. I like starting fires. I just like doing it. Yeah, and so, so he was laughing at the fact that I had like I don't have an axe yet, but I have a machete, and I'll go outside in the backyard and like chop the wood to get so I can start a fire. And he was like, "You seriously do that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it caught him way off guard, but it was, but so like, if it comes down to doing something like that, it may be considered masculine, but I actually like doing those things. So if he said, hey, how about we have a bonfire? I'll probably be very happy. Like, I'll go get the wood and stuff because that's just the kind of person I am. But
not cutting the wood.
Yeah, I have knives and machetes and working on getting an axe. So I'm already not.
See, I would have bought you an axe already since you like doing it. And just for the record, right? I don't want y'all to think like my wife is just like this little pretty little thing that don't do no work. She like takes the garbage out. She'll go outside and shovel snow. She do whatever needs to get done. I just don't allow her to do certain things. And we've had the same struggle that you said, Lauren, when you spent the first part of your relationship trying to be the man. We had the same struggle with me and her early in our marriage where she wouldn't let me do certain things. She felt like because she can do it, it's no big deal. But I kept telling her, look, I understand you know how to do it, but I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing.
Right.
Right.
One day she just woke up and she said, you know what? I'm just going to let him do it.
Yeah.
And we literally just had a conversation the other day where she said it took her stepping back and like having to stop and like, all right, I'm just going to let him do it. We kept, fighting each other on certain things.
Right.
And, like I would come home at nighttime and see her pulling the garbage out. And that's like the only thing I couldn't win. Like she loved taking the garbage out. She'll do that. So I just could never win that battle. So I just let her, I let her take
in North Carolina, you won't catch me, baby. We got raccoons and snakes out here. I'm not taking no garbage out.
And that goes to Ramon's second comment, second and third. He says, you have to understand the picture that has been painted. Is this equal to men? Or I don't need a man for nothing. That makes this picture overshadow or make all women look bad, but not all are bad. Right. So, and then down to his last one, when women say I don't need a man for nothing or wants all the masculinity that doesn't allow a man to take the lead or be the protector or be the provider. Right. So again, it just goes back to like, just because you can do those things for yourself, you shouldn't have to. And and that's just, and some women feel they take it the opposite way. I can do these things, therefore I don't need you to do them for me. Mm-hmm. And and then it's at that point, it's like, okay, well, some men actually, it's unfortunate for men who take pride in doing those things for them. Because when you're with someone who's like, I don't need you to do that, like, are you holding the door open for me? Like, I can open my own door. Like,
Right.
That shouldn't be to me. I don't agree with that.
But you know what? That's why I said education is now at the bottom for me. And it's because you have to realize unfortunately, there are a lot of men who did not, go further in life to educate themselves book wise. That doesn't mean that they're not intelligent enough to get through life by knowing other things. Men are self-sufficient animals in a sense. We're all creatures, but men are self-sufficient. They know how to survive. It's been embedded in their DNA code to survive. Just because that man can't necessarily read or write doesn't mean he can't go to the local junkyard and learn how to move that forklift a certain way by watching somebody do it, so that he can eventually go out and become, you know what I'm saying, the person who does this for a living, to be able to make money to bring home to his family. So to me, I look at other things as sustainable, resources, as opposed to the educational part of it. So when you keep saying, I can cut down wood, I can cut down this, I can do that, may be all he knows how to do. So now you just demasculated him by taking away the one thing that he possibly can do, because you can do it and because you find pleasure in it. Cut your wood when he's not around. Cut your wood when he goes somewhere else. But when he's there, if that's all he has to offer in that moment, and you still love this man, and this is who you want to be with, let that man cut every tree down. Now, he may get arrested depending on which state he in, because it's illegal to just be cutting trees. But I'm just saying, let him do that, like, and that's something that I have learned over the course of years of, in a sense, messing up parts of my own marriage. Because even though I can do it, it doesn't mean that I should be doing it in the moment that he's around. Now, when he's not around, certain things that I love to do, I'll do it. And it's things, honestly speaking, the grill. Let's talk about that. I do like to be on the grill. I don't know nothing about being on the grill. I tried to barbecue in the house.
Oh, no.
Look, you see him back there? You see his face back there? I tried to grill in the house. Now, he is amazing on the grill. Know everything that he needs to do about that. So guess what Lauren decided to do? A couple of years ago, for our anniversary fell on Father's Day, which happens like every leap year. I went out, I bought the whole shebang. The grill with the 2 parts to it, the little tank thingy of the stuff that blow up if you use too much of it. I don't know what it's called. Look, that's how you know I don't know what I'm doing out there. Look, see? I bought him the awning piece, the piece that go over it, so he don't have to be out in the sun while he cooking. So when I say I want stuff on the grill, would I love to go out there sometimes and try it? Yeah, but that's his thing. So I step back and I let him do what he's doing, and it come out perfect every time. So it's like, I could learn how to do it, but what's the point? I got him. Sometimes it's okay. That's why I said that educational part. I'm looking to go back to school to further my education. That's not on his list right now. He's growing at his job. So I don't care about that. He getting his educational level up, because guess what? He take care of everything else around his house. Mm-hmm. I just told him something happened with the car the other day. I called him. I said, I don't know what. Let me tell you what he did. He went out there, turned the car off, turned it back on. He said, everything fine. Look, I was like, you got to call somebody. We got to do this. We got to do that. And for what?
Mm-hmm.
Right. You see what I'm saying? So it's trial and error. And you learn, as you get older, you will learn that, yes, Amber, chop them trees down when that man is off doing other things. Maybe he out chilling with his boys. Go out there and get your lumberjack on, baby. But when he come home, just let him cut the wood.
Let him do it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's a give and a take, man. It's a balance. You just gotta find that balance. You can't, if you make him feel like you don't need him, he's
in this.
Him. It just, you have to make him feel one. I don't care. Hey, I was outside, I was only able to chop one piece of wood. Can you go do the rest for me? My hand hurt. Ain't nothing wrong with your hand, but you just make him feel like you need him now. He gonna be like, yeah, baby, I got you.
Right.
Right. Game gotta play, just a game. You know what I'm saying?
And that does happen in relationships where a man can feel some kind of way if he is in a position where he feels like he's just useless, like he's just like, what am I even here for? Mm-hmm. And right. So
now for the two of you ladies, pick off the list for the two of you ladies. Pick off the list. Do your rundown.
You start, Mel.
Okay, before I bring this up, I was gonna say that's one thing that I just now discovered that I gotta work on. And it's not, sometimes it's not that a woman just wants to do all that she knows how to do. Sometimes it's hard to come out of that and detach yourself from it.
Mhm.
The last person I dated, he had to actually make me get back in the car once so that he could open my car door. I'm so used to opening up my own car doors. I'm so used to going and building by myself, opening those doors, pumping my own gas, doing all these things, being single, that now I have to teach myself, okay, when you're with a man, let him do it. If you're ever with a man that won't do it, then maybe that's not the man you need to be around. But when you're with a man, let him do it. And I'm still trying to teach myself at almost 40. I'm still trying to detach myself from doing that, because it's hard when you've been doing it for so long. And then you just start dating somebody, and now all of a sudden you're just supposed to stop and let them do it. You got to get it. It's a practice that you have to implement. Okay, so let's see. It says career salary. I'm kind of, so it depends with me. I was saying earlier that with the looks department, I'm only big on looks if I'm first meeting you. Not if I've known you for a while. If I've known you for a while, it's more than likely something else that attracted me outside of your looks. But if you're just approaching me, trying to talk to me, trying to holler, I'm probably going to be like, no. If you're not all that easy on the eyes, I probably won't be so willing. So looks for me now have become somewhere in the middle. His career, his salary, career, I don't care what a man does for a living as long as he's self-sufficient and can take care of himself. That goes along with salary too. There's a lot of women out here say, I want $100,000 man. And you got to be making six figures. You got to have the 360s. Right. Is what most women are saying now. And for me, no, that he does probably have to be a little bit taller. I'm 5'8", a little bit less than 5'8". So he got to have a little height on him.
I didn't know that mean.
As far as, I'm a little less than 5'8", but the looks, it's somewhere in the middle. Like, I don't know, it's higher than, I would say it's higher than his education. That sounds so bad to say that his looks is higher than his.
Well, ain't nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with that?
He ain't gotta have a degree for me
at all.
Entrepreneurs out here that are doing it big and ain't set foot in one college class.
I got not one degree.
I would say number one would probably be his spirituality. Number two would probably be number 7, his positive personality. Number 3 would probably be number 4, his looks. And number 5 would be number 4, how he takes care of home. Well, I didn't look at number 6. Wait a minute. I got to switch that around. Number 6 probably would be right under where his personality is. And then attitude right in that area as well. Willingness to please me sexually. I don't know a man that wouldn't be willing.
Girl,
the conversations that I've heard as of late is that men look at it as a challenge.
Yo, she answered that so fast. Girl, they out here.
I'm on hand willing.
Yo.
That's true. There are men out here that just want to get theirs and keep it moving. I don't want nobody like that. So that's somewhere in the middle too. I think I covered them all. Yeah, I covered them all.
Come on, Amber.
Bear with me. I'm still trying to discover myself.
Yeah, be fair too, man. You know what I mean? Say how you feel.
Okay.
Listen,
So
go ahead and say it, man.
starting with start with the first one. Okay. His career. That to me, I mean, I guess that's like in the middle, I guess, because that to me might tie in with your interests. So maybe I'm looking at it a little bit too deep, but I guess if you have a good stable career, then that's a plus. So I say that's probably like at least the top 3 somewhere. I can't say a number yet, but let me see. His salary, I think I might be going off of my previous experiences. I think that moved up a little bit, only because I have put that below before, where I was like, oh, that's fine. You don't have to make a lot of money, long as you got some plans and some goals or something. But I think I bumped that up some since then, because some people can, like, depending on your mindset, you can get very complacent with certain things, and then it ends up being financially complicated. And they say finances is like one of the biggest issues that can cause a relationship to start failing. So yeah, I think I bumped that up in my past recent years. Education, I feel like that's more of a status than actually saying how intelligent a person is. You can be educated and not be the brightest crayon in the box. You just educated in what you were studying. So
That's very educated.
yeah, there's a big difference between being educated and being intelligent. Because there's people, like you said, Mel, who are not educated, quote unquote, or who didn't get a degree, but they were smart enough to build a career or smart enough to find success in other areas. So, but I put that kind of like towards the bottom, because it's like it depends on what you're doing. If your career requires an education, of course, that goes hand in hand. Looks and physique. I still say that's probably number 2. I would give that a number. I have talked to guys who weren't necessarily my type before, but it wasn't a big deal. But I've also like felt bad if I didn't have much attraction to them, though. And that's kind of hard to fix. Like, I can't make myself find someone.
Yeah, it is. I told
Yeah.
y'all.
Yeah, it's hard to fix. If I'm not attracted to you and you trying to do stuff and it shows that I'm not attracted to you, then that can cause a problem. So yes. How he takes care of home. That is that's probably number 3 or 4, I would say, because I've talked to a guy before who was not much of a homemaker, and it kind of made me, I don't want to say I looked at him different, but I was like a little disappointed that he was too comfortable living in filth to me. And I was like, that's weird. Like, I would come home, like when we stayed together for a moment, and I would come home and kind of see the place and be like, how are you comfortable sitting in this? Like, it just I don't know, it just spoke a lot to me about that. How he makes me feel appreciated, respected. I think that should be number 1, probably. I don't even know if I put a number 1, but how he makes me feel appreciated and respected, because that respect has really got to be there. I've been in situations where everything else was fine, but he was disrespectful as hell, and that just took everything else away. So yeah, if you too quick to call me out my name, or you too quick to be disrespectful, or do things that I'm not okay with just to prove a point, that's a problem. So yeah, that's definitely up there. Positive personality, mindset. And I'm sorry, y'all, I'm not giving these specific numbers, but yeah, positive personality, mindset. I would say that's number 5, only because, like, I know I guess I need to work on that sometimes myself. So I kind of get it. Like, I might not be the most positive, but not necessarily like like I might not be argumentative necessarily, but I might look at life from a very dark perspective for a second because I'm going through things. So I might be like, life fucking sucks. And like I might have those moments. But as long as you can get yourself out of it, then that's fine. So the last three, attitude and demeanor. This list is so hard. Attitude and demeanor. Yeah. I mean, I guess I kind of see the positive personality, mindset, and attitude, demeanor in the same, I guess. The willingness to please me sexually. So
your brother watching.
I know, right? Sorry, Mark. I know, cause it's like
He'll be fine.
I know all the stuff he say on here.
Right, he'll be just fine.
9 should be number 1.
Mom said 9 should be number 1.
Listen, I don't know. I don't even know why y'all taking this long to get through this list. Y'all some big grown women, and y'all know exactly what is top on y'all list, and y'all is up here taking forever and playing around.
I'm sorry.
Y'all playing and pick these numbers in the order that it goes for the things you want in your life right now.
I want to hear it. I already know the order. Y'all front
because it's like some of these to me go one and the same.
So then say that. So then say that these go one and the same. Y'all is playing right now, and y'all know better to do that with me on this air right now. What's wrong with y'all?
I should have looked. I will confess. I should have looked.
I was about to say. I have to admit, I did. Yeah, let me just say this real quick.
That's the only reason why I'm slow, but I do.
Yeah.
In their defense, this is really good though. This list is better than
it is a very good list.
Yes,
and I'm not gonna lie,
common things on there, but at the same time,
I didn't look at the list beforehand. And I should have did the same thing. I should have looked at the list first, but now I'm looking at it, I'm like, hold on. Because at first I'm thinking like, oh, I should be able to pick this easy. But when I'm looking at it, I'm like, hold on.
That's why I didn't look at it.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I didn't really look at the list either. I seen it skimming around on Facebook, but this is the whole thing. When you know where you are in life, you know what to pick and how to pick the things that's most important to you as we are sitting here right now. I've already told you number 4, number 1. That is that right there. Number 4 is number 1. I am going to say number 7 would be number 2 because number 7 will roll over into number 6. If a person has a positive personality and mindset, they're going to treat others that are around them that giving them the same thing. They're going to give it right back to them. So that's right there. So number 7. So number 7 is number 2. First of all, how he takes care of home to me should be replaced with how he manages his money. I look for managing money as number 3. Not how much money you're making, how you manage what it is that you're bringing in. You could be bringing in a very small list and know what to do with that very small amount of money that you have every time you get paid. That's number 3 for me. Number 4, number 9, stop playing. I'm too big to be sitting up here faking it until we make it. Damn it, get down there and do what you need to do and make it last. Do it right. Like, we not playing. Like, that's number 4. We not playing these games at this big age. Y'all too grown to be sitting up here playing. I'm not
the
sure.
Willingness part. That's different.
No, it's the what? Because if a person, I tell this to people at my job because I am staff lead at my job, and I tell the people that I meet in leadership, if you want the staff to do the job that you've hired them to do, it has to be the willingness of them to do it. They have to be willing to want to do the job that's been given to them for them to execute it the way that you need them to execute it to get it done. It's the willingness. That's number 4. If you ain't willing to get me to that height, we ain't got nothing to talk about.
Put that in the middle. I did put that in the middle.
We ain't got nothing to talk about.
Are we talking about the willingness to please me sexually?
Yeah, I put that in the middle because I put that in the middle because your willingness means nothing to me if I don't like how you treat me, if I'm not attracted to you,
period. So
if you ain't taking care of business, your willingness don't mean nothing to me. Like I won't go too far off, but it won't even work properly. If at this age, at this big age.
Y'all playing with these answers.
Now, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna
marriage. It just
this is why y'all need me on this show because I'm gonna call y'all out. This is why y'all need me
I'm not gonna lie.
Because y'all know number 9.
I still stand by it. I still stand by it.
Number 9 is big on the list. Why is you playing in these
This is my
faces?
thing. Like,
I
I'm
still stand by
down
it. I've changed a lot. It used to be a top priority for me, but somewhere in the last, I'll say 5-6 years, I've noticed that if you are not taking care of me in every aspect, I won't feel
that part shut off. Like, I think that's my thing. It's like there's a lot of things that to me that play into this, because for one, first off, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I'm numb as hell right now, and in relationships and dating. This is why I'm staying to myself, because I don't know what I want for myself anymore. I'm just being real. Like, I don't want nobody touching me. I don't want nobody. I just want to be left the fuck alone lately. But going off of my past, if I don't feel respected, if I don't feel like your personality or your mindset and demeanor and all that stuff is in a fucked up place, then your willingness to please me sexy don't mean a fucking thing. So I think that's why I'm kind of looking at the list. Like, I mean, yeah, it depends. Like, it depends. Like, I'm looking at it probably a little more too detailed, but yeah, like, I mean, obviously, assuming everything's cool, then yeah, of course, willingness to please me sexually is gonna be at the top. Like, you know, and your looks and your physique is gonna be the first thing I'm gonna see, most likely. So I'm probably gonna want to be
absolutely. So yeah, that's why I don't even understand.
She finally said it.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, you know,
because why is you sitting up here and you playing with these answers? You knew what that when you started realizing what this list said, and you was like, oh. You knew right then and there what was top on that list, and we ain't got time to be sitting up here playing.
I mean, I'm not really like, that's the thing. Like, I'm not trying to lie or fib or play around. I'm just like, it's a lot of these things that's at the top to me. I think that's the problem. So it's like,
but see, that's the thing. You have to remember how you coordinate these things. That's why I said number 7 goes into number 6. If a person is positive and they have a positive mindset, they're positive about you as well as other things in their life. And that's going to trickle down to how they make you feel, how they respect you. I have never known a person with a negative personality or mindset that respects the people that's in their lives. They going off on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, they just snapping because it's something about them that they don't like about themselves, and they taking it out on everybody else. If the person is positive and know where they are in life and they're content with that, and they're looking at like, I know I'm going to do better because I can do better. I'm preparing myself to do better than what I'm doing right now. That's a positive mindset. That means they're going to bring you along with that. You just have to remember you are their cheerleader.
Now, I did say looks and physique was number 2.
So you gotta that's another thing that goes hand in hand too, is speaking life into your partner. If your partner is trying to vocalize how positive that they're thinking about things they're thinking and they're being, you can't come behind them and say, you sure about all that? You what you sure about? Yeah, babe, you know what? You right, you got this. You're gonna do this. You wanted it for that interview. There'd be a fool to not accept you for that job. You gotta speak life, because then that turns around into number 6 of how they make you feel, how they appreciate you and respect you. So it goes hand in hand. So those are not separate ones. Those are together. These are
6, 7, and 8 is a one.
They're trick
6, 7, and 8 is one thing to me.
Yeah, they're trick questions. You just have to pick which one stands out to you the most, and it will follow with the other ones.
I'm still trying to find myself, so forgive me. I told y'all to bear with me on this, because I'm
taking a drink right after, and that's okay, because you know what? It's okay, because there are women that are in their 50s and 60s. I don't know if y'all familiar with Kendra G. She has this dating show on Instagram. And I watch all different age groups come on there to try to find love. I have seen women in their 50s, their 60s, even 70s come on that show and cannot put these things in order to what they want. I think at 31, it's fine. It's fine. Like, that you figure it out. As long as you figure it out. You don't want to be 50, 60, 70 still trying to figure it out. You need to be planning for your end of life. You need to get your affairs in order at that age. You don't need to be trying.
That show highlights the disconnect between men and women, because a lot of times the women, the stuff that they ask for, like, I know when it comes to the whole value and dating market, I think women take it too personal. They think when somebody says your value on a dating market is like how much you're worth to like society, but that's not what that means. Your value in the dating market is like, if I put you out here, how many men are gonna, run towards you and try to wipe you? That's all that means. So if you have certain things going on in your life, then that might bring your value down. Now we're not saying you're not worth nothing as a human being. They're just saying that's the value. And I see a lot of women that come on there that have a lot of, let's just say, crazy situations going on, and they want a man to just step in and like they want a top tier man to like step in and save their life, and that's not how that works. You have to work at what you have. Like if I'm a guy making 30,000 a year, and I'm not that attractive, I'm not healthy, I don't take care of myself, I can't expect to, I want a woman like Janet Jackson. That people look at me like I'm stupid. Like, what's wrong with you? What makes you think you even be in the same room as her?
Right.
I mean, a woman to come on here with a similar situation. She got 5 kids, 5 baby daddies. Don't work, Section 8, all that stuff going on, and she's like, yeah, man, that make 100,000 because he needs to be able to. He got to be worth it. I'm worth it for that. Who's worth it?
Not to mention, let's not forget about one of the baby daddies that be hiding in the bushes.
Exactly.
Messing up all of the relationships she got going on.
You got a restraining order on. Then she was like, oh, no, I got it under control. No, you don't. Because if you show up here, you're going to expect me to go out there and take care of him. And I ain't dealing with your baby father.
Right.
No time for that.
Right.
That's why I just said that about Country Wayne. He did that interview, and the women were going crazy when he said, I'm still a catch. And women were saying, this man got 8 kids by 4 or 5 different baby mamas, and he got the nerve to be calling himself a catch. This man is a self-made millionaire in a sense, when you really think about it. That man started on little phone, using his little cell phone to do videos and have people recording him doing these little skits and stuff like that. He made it to YouTube, started making a little bit of money. Then he made it to other different platforms. Then he started now he's paying people $1 million a year to be on his production team. That man is still a catch. What are you talking about? He sat there and he said he pays over $200,000 a month in child support and other things for all of his baby mothers to be quiet, to make sure they're good. Because he says that he can't take care of the kid without making sure they're good so they don't start no mess. Not near one of the baby mamas came out and said anything about him lying, telling half truths of anything. Nobody said nothing on him. So why is he not a catch? But you, my dear, like a woman stork out here dropping a baby every time you meet a man to try to keep a man. You work 6 months out the year, so you ain't even got a job to offer to this man. At least you can make 80,000 a year with your 4, 5, 6 kids and 3, 4 baby daddies. At least you can be making money so he can sit up here and brag and say, yo, she got a bomb ass job. She bought me a Maserati. She bought me. At least you get that man something to talk about. But you're not even doing that much, and you won't call yourself a catch. But you want to say that this man can't call himself a catch. It's a mind.
And the number of kids somebody has does not lessen their value. The number of kids you have is just the number of kids you have. No, I don't think it does. Because if a woman has 8 or 9 kids, but she doing her thing, she taking care of home, her kids ain't lacking. They lacking nothing.
Nah, man, a man is
knows how to treat a man. I know men don't look at it like this.
Yeah,
nah,
but
if you have 8 or 9 kids, that means that I'm gonna be number 10 in line. So
I think I was about to say,
it doesn't translate on the women's side, like, because most of the time a woman is the caretaker of the kids. So if I'm there, you're gonna be taking care of those kids before you take care of me. On the other side, if I'm a man and I got 8 and 9, let's say I'm Country Wayne and I'm in his situation, I can give you majority of my week, because if I'm working, we live together, you always around me. My kids probably only gonna be around me on the weekends, so that's the only time that you don't get. But as a mother, you're around your kids 24/7.
And
so
that's the one thing he said. But that's the one thing he said. He said that's why the baby mama called him. The car broke down. I ain't get her car fixed. He said I went and bought a brand new car, paid for it, because you know what? I'm out here on the road 3 weeks, 4 weeks at a time. I get to do what I want to do. She home with the kids. They tearing up the house. They talking back. They doing all types of stuff. So she is the sole caregiver of these kids. Unfortunately, no matter how much we try to defend ourselves in that matter, we will never measure up in that sense, because a man can still come and go as please, because that's what society has made it okay for him to do. Because the man still has to be the provider. He still has to go. We are the ones carrying these babies. We have them. We take them home and we nurse them off of us. That man don't latch that baby on nowhere, so that man can get up and go as he please. We got to stay there and feed that child. So people have to, women have to start understanding that if a man will sit up here and deny a female who has X amount of kids and refuse to date her because of it, Women have to start doing that too. We are too freely open to become baby mama number 6 because he fine or because he got money.
I was just
When
about to
that
say,
man,
I
that
think,
man will that listen, that man will bust a mud hole in that female every chance he get, but he will not let off a round up in her to be
now,
baby daddy number 9 if he
I
got some
think this
sense.
this is kind of going off of the list in general. I think that's kind of the problem, and why I did personally struggle putting the good looks and the willing to please me sexually at the top, because I feel like a lot of people do that in the wrong way. Like it's people who stay in fucked up relationships just because, as Jocelyn Hernandez used to always say, "Oh, I just want the beefcake," and it's like, but he doing her fucking dirty, like,
Right.
and she was happy, or just because I feel like some people put those things at the top of their list and disregard everything else because the person's attractive and they get in pleased, and you know what I'm saying. So
Well,
like,
she had nothing else to offer but a body.
Mhm.
Jocelyn
that's
came
what
from
I'm
another.
saying. Like
She came
it
from another
depends
country.
on the lifestyle.
We're not
right,
talking about you and your present state of knowing what a person is doing and understanding that you can go out and get better. We're talking about Jocelyn Hernandez, who had nothing to offer but a nice body, and which half of it she paid for
all
because
right,
she was a stripper.
right.
You see what I
Yeah.
mean? So she had nothing. That's why she took the Birkin bags along with this man. The exchange of goods was, I don't have to sleep in a house that barely has a roof in my country anymore, because I get to sleep in this man's mansion if I just don't say nothing and cry every now and then on the TV show, so I can keep what's going on. You, on the other hand, have a choice. You don't. She doesn't have a choice. That's
Right.
the whole difference between it. You got a choice.
Yeah. No, I was just like
Yeah.
using it as an example, but like, and I think too, and I forgive me, I'm trying to remember what I was about to say. We was talking about, oh, going back to the number of kids and the value that it can have. So like, I guess, yeah, I was agreeing with Dwayne a little bit that unfortunately, in reality, that does change perspectives. I know me personally, like, I have dated somebody with the child before. I don't think I want to do that again if I can avoid it. Because it just brings on and I don't want to use the word that they don't have high value. Like, I don't want to use that phrasing, but like, if you do put it in the view of society in the dating pool, I guess in a sense that's kind of the only way to put it, because they feel like, there's certain things you got to deal with in that situation that you might not want to. So in that case, the baby mother wasn't wrapped too tight, and I didn't want to deal with that. So I was just like, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do this again. That was a little much. And
Right.
unfortunately, with women, since we have to, deal with having those kids, yeah, a lot of like men will look at that, and that's why some men, or a lot of, not even men, people always, like, for the most part, I hear say they prefer the person that they're with to not have kids, unless
Absolutely.
unless they have one themselves, and they might feel differently. But a lot of people who do not have children prefer to have someone who also does not have children.
There's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
and I
Yeah.
think that the situation with the child's father or mother is also important, because if you can have, let's say you have a child with someone and you're meeting her, if
Yep.
that's not a toxic situation where both parents actually care about the child, their main effort is the child, then that'll make sense. But if you have a situation where you coming in, you meeting a woman, she got she can only have one kid, but the baby father's crazy and there's always confrontations and there's always issues and back and forth. No man wants to deal with that. So that'll turn the man off, no matter how pretty you are. That'll turn the man off,
Right.
and make him not want to give you that shot. So it's not necessarily, again, we're not talking about your personal value. We're just talking about value as far as dating is concerned.
Right.
Like me
Yeah.
personally, I have 4 kids. So I can never tell a woman I don't I wouldn't date a woman with kids. I'll date a woman with kids. It just depends on the woman and the situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Situation is very important. That's why I said, in my opinion,
Mhm.
having 8 kids don't matter if the situation is right. If this woman is taking care of her household, if this woman has it set up to where she can give you the attention that you need and her kids the attention that they need, and nobody is lacking, most women can do that. We are just wired that way, that we can do multiple things at a time. We don't have to focus on one thing, or we gonna freak out, or I gotta either focus on my kids or focus on you. I can't do both.
How
Like
do
we are
y'all
just
feel
wired that
about
way because you're married. If you were married to that woman and those 8 kids were your 8 kids, it would still be the same. She would still have to divvy up that time in a proper way. So that's why I feel like, whether you got one kid, like you said, you can have one, but then you got a crazy baby daddy hiding in the bushes every time you bring
Right.
your boyfriend over, he popping out. So
now?
it's
I have a question. I know we 15 minutes in, but I had a really quick question. How do you guys feel about particularly men who feel that women that do have children they feel like they need to lower their standards some, meaning that they might want certain types of men or want certain things out of a man, but some other men might feel like, well, you got kids now, you're a single mom, you might want to knock that standard down a bit. How do y'all feel about that opinion? Because I've heard, yeah.
That's a great question. I'll start on that one. I think Ciara is a Ciara the singer. She's a good prime example of that, right? So Ciara is she's very successful. What she does, she has money, she always all that good stuff. But I think the problem with Ciara is she gave a lot of women false hope that you can go and live your life how you want to live it, and then you still will meet your Russell Wilson, right? In reality, that doesn't happen the majority of the time. A lot of men they're gonna base you off of who your child father is, right? Now you can be beautiful, you can be successful, you can be, top notch type of woman, but if your baby father was like a robber or a killer or a street guy or somebody that's pretty much just living a moralist lifestyle, if that's you decide to have a kid with, that's gonna make me question question you like, okay, well, you decide to have a child with a person like that. Now you coming to me and you expect me to like live up to all these standards with it when he didn't have to. All he had to do was show up. But you want me to make 100,000. You want me to be this tall. You want me to provide this lifestyle for you. You want me to do all of this. So I do agree that a lot of times, a majority of those women, they got to lower their standards. You can't expect to get a top tier guy anymore because you made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a man. If a man, what can a man do that's like relationship with like suicide? Like, let's say I made a mistake in my past that I gotta walk around with now. Let's say if I got a domestic charge, let's say I beat up my last girlfriend. You know what I mean? Everybody knows I'm abusive. That's something I gotta live with. I can't say I want the best woman out here because I have that stain on me now. So now I gotta lower my standards and say, hey, I might not be able to get that top tier girl because I made a mistake in the past, but I can get these women now. They're willing to give me a chance. It's the same thing. And I'm not saying that it is a mistake. I would never say that. But I'm just saying that's how men view it.
And sometimes women view it the same way. Like if they see your baby mama look like who did it before, Rasputia, right? They see your baby mama weave ain't never combed out, is always matted. A wig sitting back here and her hairline up here. We looking like you had a baby with that.
Right.
I'm looking at the mirror like,
what you want from me?
What you want from me?
Right.
Yeah, she popping out the bushes every time I come around. No,
I agree 100%. 100%.
Look at the same way.
Yeah.
I feel like as far as lowering, I don't know. I'm always the person to say that I'm always the person to say that as long as you got breath in your body, you can better yourself. You can learn from your mistakes. You can move forward and have much better than what you had in your past. So lowering your standard just because you had a baby with a bum. Now, if you had several babies with this bum, you probably want to try to reevaluate life. You had one baby with a bum, and you ain't had a baby since the baby's 16 years old, and now you ready to do your thing. I can kind of think off bat, your baby's 16, you ain't had no other babies, and you're not on that level no more. You might have learned your lesson, but yeah, I don't know if I would say lower your standard. I don't know.
I wouldn't say lower. I would say relax.
Relax your standards.
Relax.
I like that you said that. Relax your standards.
I would say relax. But see, we also have to think about, first of all, if your first decision was that, then maybe you need to up your standards. If your first decision was that, if you got that type of baby mama, baby father, the first time around. Maybe you need to revamp and look at what you were asking for and what you were willing to accept the first time, and maybe you need to up your
Yeah.
standards. Now,
Reevaluate your standards.
if you have now, I had an old friend. I don't no longer speak to her, but she had the most wild standards, and I used to always tell her, maybe you should just relax them just a little bit. Let's try. Because her thing was, I'm not going to go out and seek a man. I'm just going to the man is going to appear to me. And I said, baby, this is not the 1940s. It's not milkman. I'm not coming to the front door anymore dropping off cartons. Look, you have to put yourself out there in a sense, but it's the way you put yourself out there. Nobody's saying you got to go out here dressed half naked at the clubs, but you also have to present yourself in an available space in a way that you would like to meet a man. If you want to meet a man that's six figures, maybe you need to maybe make close to six figures, if not, and maybe start shopping in areas and where high value men that make six figures dine and shop at. You can't say you want a man that makes six figures, but you eating out at cookout every 3 days. That man is not at cookout, and if he is, it's on the breeze through because he on his way to a business meeting somewhere and he can't get to where he going, and he got to put something on his stomach for the moment. But we're talking about go dining in places that you can meet these six-figure men, go out. But then that also comes in the realm of you got to do something here, 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 head to toe, has to be presentable to catch the eye of a six-figure man. And that's not saying you got to go out and get body fat sucked out here and there and start, and get all slim because she was a big girl. But it's, comb your hair, you know, and let's not just run out the house with anything. Let's, so it's called relaxing. Let's relax our standards a little bit because honestly speaking, when you relax, you don't know who's out here, honestly, uh, masquerading. Men who make money don't always look like they make money. Mark Zuckerberg is the prime example. This man had on a Walmart t-shirt. He is worth billions of dollars. And a Walmart t-shirt and Aces as sneakers. He didn't have on no Jordans. He didn't have on no Christian Louis Vuittons. He didn't have on none of that stuff. So you got to understand that, it's not always about how you look. So it's okay to, be nice, and relax just a little bit. Just, it's okay.
I agree.
I heard it said one time, as far as standards go, if you want, like, let's just use the $100,000 man, six-figure man, as an example. If you want that type of a man, see what that type of a man wants.
Right.
And if you ain't living up to what that type of a man wants, then that's the work that you need to do if you really want that. If you really want that six-figure man, see what his interests are. See what he did to get there. See what education he has. See what interests he has, all of that. And look at your life. Because there are a lot of women out here that want the 3 6s, 6 figures, 6 feet, and 6 inches. A lot of women are saying that's what they want now. I've heard it. I don't know why, but whatever.
I have to.
I've heard it over and over and over again. But then you make $25,000 a year, still living with your mama at 35.
Exactly.
And you are not aspiring to be better. You and your 4 kids still live with your mama, and you barely taking care of them. You really living off your child support. What you want a six-figure man for? He's not going to want you.
Yeah, exactly.
Back to bringing something to the table. Men might not care about how much you make, but he don't want you like.
But he don't want chaos. But he don't want chaos at his table, especially a man. If a man has children or has a kid, and he has a great understanding with that mother, and they are on good terms or cordial. They ain't got to be the best of friends, but if that man and that woman is cordial with each other and they got a schedule worked out, no man is going to allow you to come, as no matter how fine you are, no man's going to allow you to come and throw a monkey wrench into what he already has worked hard as hell to straighten out. Because I'm sorry to tell you, it's a lot of men out here that's begging these women to just be cordial with me. I don't want no problems. I don't want this and the third. And these women are giving these men hell out here. Because they see where he's going, they see that where he is, and they don't want to deal. They don't want him to deal with nobody else. I guess to quote unquote reap the benefits of her catching him on the way up, and the next one getting him where he is already up. So if that man has finally worked out those levels and got that whole yard is smoothed out, the grass is growing nicely, and then here you come and you don't know what you want in life. You confused as hell. I want a man that's gonna cater to me. All right, I'm gonna cater to you, but I also want this house nice and clean. I want to come home to a clean house every day. I don't want to buy out. I want to make sure I want to have a home cooked meal when I come home, even if it's in the microwave because I work late. I want to come home and be able to just hit start and that food is right there for me. But if you can't, but if you can't do that because you tired, you can't. Then what are you asking for? What are you looking for? You're not matching.
Right.
That's why I said you ain't gotta lower your standards. Just relax them just a little.
And then
I
a lot
like
of women don't realize that a six figure men are busy, so then you're not gonna get the quality time that you might want.
Right.
If I didn't live with my
like
wife, I
that.
probably wouldn't see her on the weekends if we didn't live together. Like
Right.
we live in the same house and we literally like we'll lay in bed at nighttime and she'd be like, "Yo, I miss you," and I'd be like, "I miss you too," because we're like
Yeah.
running and doing different things. You know what I mean? So again, if you want a 6 figure man is gonna be busy. He's gonna be
Right.
working. He's building an empire. So it's gonna require you to spend a lot of time by yourself. And
And
a lot
that's
of
what
women,
I want.
you can't have. You're not gonna get both like that.
She said that's what I don't want.
And that's what I don't want. That's why I like my husband works 12-hour shifts. And when he say he's going in for overtime, I get an attitude. But I know he gotta do what he gotta do, but I get an attitude because them 12 hours is enough.
Mhm.
So I know I couldn't handle a 6 figure man. That's why I'm not out here asking and looking for no 6 figure man. I'm happy with the little life that I have right now because he comes home at a certain time and I know I'm gonna get to spend a couple of hours with him when he wake up before he go back to his next 12-hour shift. So you ask for things that you may not be ready for and may not be mentally, equipped to handle. So that's
Yeah.
another thing too. You may say you want yourself a God fearing man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But when that man has a calling and has to be gone on that calling, whether that calling is to minister to somebody at the church and he's going all night long, you got to be safe in what you thinking and what you feeling to know that he's handling that calling from God and not handling the
And
calling.
somebody else.
Oh, the
You know,
call.
I'm just saying, like this is for
Right.
real.
How you feeling, Amber? Amber sitting up here just taking this all in. How you feeling?
Taking it over here.
I'm not.
I will say though, unfortunately, it is your generation that says a lot of this. I want this 6 figure man and don't have nothing to offer. You are rare in your generation because you do have something to offer. But what's your take? Like, what are you thinking now? Because I see your wheels turning.
I'm thinking a lot because of that. Actually, like I'm different in a lot of ways. Like so a lot of the things that's being said is just like, like just not by you guys particularly, but things is being said in society today is just I feel like a fish out of water a lot of time. Like I even which is probably why I struggle with that list, because it's like I just look at everything so different. But I feel like, but depending on what you want in a relationship, that changes everything, because there's some women who are people, but I'm gonna just say women because it's more common with them, who are more focused on wanting a guy with 6 figures, and that's it. Like, if that's what your focus is, then you kind of got to take what you can get out of that. So like Dwayne said, if you want someone who makes 6 figures, but you're okay with spending most of the time by yourself, then then have at it. You might have a guy who feels like you can't have much input on things because you don't make the money. And if you're okay with that, have at it. Like, if he might tell you, hey, I make the money, so you can't do XYZ, like, you got to take what you can get out of that situation if that's what your main focus is. But and I think that really does change a lot of what you value, what like I said, with that list, what goes tops and what goes to the bottom, like that because it's depending on what you're looking for. Like Lauren, you to me have a very realistic idea of what makes you happy in a relationship. So like that's why what you have is dope to me, because it's I mean, it's realistic, it's relatable. It's like, I mean, it's and it's beautiful. But like, you know,
Thank
there's
you.
other people, yeah, I really respect that. And then there's people who are the complete opposite, where they might look at that lifestyle and be like, oh, I need more, or no, that ain't enough for me, or I need this, that, and the third. It's like, okay, that's fine, but
You
you
tell
gotta
me
take
I can't get on the grill.
but
Well,
you gotta
listen, for those who's looking for six figures and to not be left alone, Tristan Thompson is available. He's been suspended.
Oh God, no.
So,
God, no.
Yo, that guy's crazy.
I'm
Listen, let me just say this about the six-figure thing. I dated a man, was in a relationship with somebody who made $250,000 a year. That man also was abusive. So be careful what you ask for,
Right.
because you're asking for all of this money. If you're not going to be abused, sometimes it might come with a controlling nature.
yes.
You can't leave the house. You can't wear certain things. You can't talk to
Yeah.
certain people. You can't
Right.
go to certain places. It might isolate you
And,
from your family.
and to
Be
be
careful what
honest,
you ask for.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
let
like,
me ask you a question. You just said something that I thought would be a great topic. You said you can't wear certain things. What does that mean?
He will control some what we consider high value men.
Mhm.
If you're in a certain tax bracket that is much less than them, they
Mhm.
want to control everything that you do. It don't even have to be a short skirt or tight pants or V-neck that's all the way down to your navel. It don't even have to
Mhm.
be that. It can be something a little form-fitting. It could be a bodycon that's a one size too big. If he feels like he don't want you to wear it, you can't wear it.
Yeah, but here's the thing with that, right? Because I think that's the problem that most men have. Because that's viewed as controlling. I don't think it's viewed as controlling. I think it's viewed as protection. Because a lot of times, women tend to not realize how how their bodies come off. Right now, you might think I'm a woman. I should be able to wear what I want, which is true. But we live in a society where that's not possible. You have a lot of creeps out here. You got a lot of guys that go out on the street. And I've
Totally
had,
agree.
have that. I don't really have that with my wife, but we had moments where I had to tell her to, you can't wear that because you're going to a certain place, and I'm not there to protect you out with your friends. If some guy comes and grabs you, your friends can't do nothing for you, and she kind of understood that. So I think
Yeah, that's
sometimes
different.
this protection
sorry.
is not really, it's not controlling, but it only gets described as controlling because the woman wants to do whatever she wants to do, and she don't want the man to have any say in anything. If something happens, she's calling the man to come protect her, which I
And
feel
I
like
think
Yeah,
it
that's a
depends
difference. But
on,
that's not what I
yeah,
mean by that. What I mean by that
okay,
is
just making sure.
dictating every single thing what you do. You can be
Okay.
wearing them just
She's talking.
because
She's
he
talking
wants
about
to
Diddy.
control what you're doing.
She's talking
Period.
about.
Take
She's talking
that
about
off.
Diddy. Diddy said, "Cause they all had to wear white nail polish and fingernail polish and toenail polish." That's what she's talking about. She's talking about the Diddy's of the
Oh,
world.
it was mandatory.
Stuff like that. Stuff
It
like
was
that.
mandatory.
Yeah, he said no. It's mandatory in a
That was
relationship with him. You can only wear white nail polish and toe polish. Yeah, only
But
white.
you gotta
That was,
look at what he's look at the lifestyle that he's literally
but
taking you where you are and putting you up here. So men like that, you can't really. I
I
would
mean,
never.
honestly speaking,
Does
listen. I have
on that
worked my whole life.
level.
I have worked my entire life. If I was to ever pull Diddy and he said, "I just want you to wear white toenail polish," baby, just call me the milkman. Cause I'm tired. I'm tired of working. Okay. Okay.
The
and
I
that's
lifestyle.
what I mean. Like, you got to take what you can, and it's funny because, like, going off of what you had brought up, Mill, like my generation or my age group, like some of the things that they say is just mind-boggling. And it's like, and there's a lot of them who would be completely okay with that situation, and I'm not judging it necessarily, as long as you know that you're going to get what you're going to get out of it. You're not trying to manipulate anybody to get into it. You just upfront and honest about what you want, and the person that you're with is well aware of what you want out of it. But yeah, it's like the younger folk or whatever, even under me, it's worse. Like like it's like it's like, and I hate to say that, but the younger you are, the more skewed I feel like the opinions are, and and the dating pool gets. And so for me, and I think that's probably why I'm not really like actively dating right now, like, you know, because I just recently got out of a long relationship that wasn't the greatest, and so I'm kind of pushed out here, and I'm like seeing everything for the first time. I'm just like, oh my god, like what's going on? So yeah, it's just, I just feel like I feel like a lot of social media definitely is playing on this big time, because you know, and I've used him plenty of times as an example, Kevin Samuels. He was very big on his platform or what he believed in and everything, and my issue was with that, I didn't have necessarily an issue with his opinions. I didn't even disagree with all of them, but the issue that I had with it was the Kevin Samuel stands, like the stands, the fans, the people who followed him took his idea and made it into something else. Like this, there were men walking around with this high value status they gave themselves, and they're not high value. Like, you know, so they over here talking down on women, and I'm like, ugh, like, I don't think that's what he meant, or I don't think he was talking about you when he said this. You know, he wasn't talking, you weren't in that category of men he's referring to. So like, but that didn't change the fact that these men would walk around here, you know, dogging women out and turn, you know, talking sideways about them, and based off of this man who had a platform on YouTube. So it's like, you know, I feel like that plays a lot into how the dating pool is today and what people are looking for. And a lot of the things they're looking for is unrealistic. And they just, and I don't know, they just get into these situations, and I just have to question my age group sometimes, because I don't get it. I swear I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself a stand up, but I was definitely a follower of Kevin Samuels. Let me explain to you why men navigated to him, right? You got to realize that a lot of men are raised by women, and the women tell them, pretty much teach them how to be men, right? And then you have a man that comes out of nowhere and says, "No, you've been taught wrong. That's not how you're supposed to be treated." Because he was on roasting men for years, like teaching men how to be men, how to
Yes, he
stop
was.
expecting women to take care of them. I remember one guy, he had one guy on the phone. He was like, "Well, how do you look?" He was like, "Oh, I'm a little heavy." He's like, "Oh, so you're a fat fuck." And he was like,
Yes, I saw that.
"Yeah."
I
He's like,
saw
"Yeah." Okay, so
that.
what's the problem? He's like, "I feel like women should approach me." He's like, "Oh, so what do you offer to a woman for her to approach you?" He's like, I'm just me." So he's like, "Well, you got a big joint." He asked him about his Johnson, and he was like, "Nah, it's all right." He's like, "Yeah, you don't got a big Johnson." He said, "So
Right.
you don't?"
I
He
saw
said, "How
that.
much money do you make?" He was like, "Oh, I make like 20,000 a year." So he said, you ain't got no money, you ain't got no big Johnson, and you're a fat fuck, but you expect women to approach you."
Right.
And it's like he was doing that to men for like 3-4 years before he even started
And
talking to
no,
women.
right, exactly.
And when he started talking to women and trying to explain the male from a male perspective, how to educate the women with the male perspective, male side of things, women got mad at him for that, like because they didn't. I say because they didn't want to hear the truth. Because a lot of the stuff he said, don't get me wrong, I didn't agree with everything he said, but a lot of the stuff he said he was hitting the nail on the head, and he was giving men a platform to finally talk about their feelings. A lot of these men felt valueless, and now they feel like they actually have value now. So
Right.
he did a lot for men. I mean, I've always been a confident person, so he didn't really do much for me. But I enjoyed sitting there and watching him clean women up every single night. He was just cleaning them up accordingly, and he always used logic. He didn't insult them. He didn't do none of that. He told them exactly what it was. A lot of women don't like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's and most women that don't like him, they be like, "Oh, I'm not a fan." I was like, "Did you ever watch one of his videos?" They always tell me no, they didn't. You can't watch the hot takes. The hot takes, they take the worst of what he
Right.
said and they put that out there, and you develop something based off that little woman a skit. Like prime example, he went viral off the girl that he said, you're a 5 at best. You're average at best." If you watch the whole video, she actually said she was average. He asked her, bareface out the shower, "How do you think she look? How do you think you look?" She said, "I'm a 5." But they didn't put that out there. It made it seem like he was calling her a 5. He never called her a
Right.
5. He's repeating what she said. But that's why I always tell women, when you don't like him, go watch a couple of his videos and then,
Right.
base your opinion based off the whole video, not just, a little 30-second clip that they take off. Because you could make anyone sound anyway with a 30-second clip.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I can watch this video and I could clip 30 seconds to make y'all sound like y'all don't like men.
Right.
Even though this whole time I'm sitting here talking about dating and your feelings and how it's a respect, it's respect on both sides. But I can take 30 seconds of something y'all said and make it seem like you just hate men. You know what I mean? I could take one of you saying I'm not dating right now. I could take one of you saying he was abusive. You know what I'm saying? And it make it seem like all we did was bash the whole time we've been on here.
But that's what get views, though. But stuff like that is what get views, and that's how these producers and things like that. That's how people know what to do. That's why they're in the positions to run these shows and things like that, because they know what's going to get views. But that's a clickbait. It's for you to click and open and watch the whole thing. I absolutely loved his show. I used to watch his show all the time because he was speaking facts, absolutely facts. Like, I mean, and he got on a lot of men. But see, there's no oomph behind a man telling a man about himself. There's oomph behind a man telling a woman. That's what's gonna get the views right there. So that's what the audience was, people, seeing. Did you see what he said to that woman? Well, because she came on and she said she was divorced, she had no education, she had 3 kids, she didn't get along with none of the fathers, they all got different daddies. At least the last one, she wasn't sure, it was between 2 different guys. So
that's what he said. What he said.
Right.
I've never seen him openly disrespect a woman on his platform unless she disrespected him first.
Exactly.
And a lot of times he'll just hang up on her like, all right, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I was gonna say because I watched some of his shows, and same thing. That's why I said, like, in the beginning that I didn't disagree with a lot of the stuff that he said. Some stuff I was just like, all right now, like
like the leftover woman thing. That's a reach.
Right. It was a few things he said I was like, but I wasn't one to like one of the ones or one of the women who was like skipping down the hallway when they found out that he passed. Like, like it was something that really couldn't stand him.
That was crazy. Women were celebrating on social media.
Celebrating.
I've never seen nothing like that in my life. I was like, I've never seen this guy. Like, and I watch me and my wife always sit down and watch his shows. Like, every chance we get, we'll sit down and try to catch him because he got so much work on there. And we'll sit there and we'll talk, we'll conversate about it. And then, I ask her, how you feel about that? And she'll be like, yeah, he was right about this one. Or she might say, I didn't agree with what he said about this one. But for you to celebrate someone that was literally his whole life work was trying to get black men and black women back on the same page and understanding, the same understanding. So that way, we can start getting married again. That was his main goal, was to put us back together again. And if you watch the shows, he literally was telling them, look, that's not what men are looking for. This is what men are looking for. They want this, they want this. And then just like he was telling the men, you're never going to get no woman with the way you're living your life. He told one dude, you're a mama's boy. Like, don't no woman want no mama's boy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So I think that we actually, this is the longest show that we had. I'm about to say we're like 30 minutes over.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all gotta bring me back up here. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, this is cool.
We would love to have you to come back. We'll think of another dope topic to talk about that. Definitely get going.
Maybe we get you in with some of the guys next time.
Oh Lord, please. Well, we appreciate having you on. We had a great show. Mel, you want to take us out of here?
So, thank you guys for watching. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell so that you get all of the, notifications for when we post. We come on every first Sunday at 3 p.m. So, until next time, we thank you for joining us. Thanks again to Dwayne.
Yes.
And we will see you guys next time.
And I have posted that.
Because I don't want this simple life. It's the fine things I like. I want my champagne all night with you.
Good show.
That was great.
That was a great show. Yeah. And I really appreciate